Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Bleacher Takes. It's your boy Tim, Nate, and we got Josh back today. Josh back for a nice little Sunday night podcast. We got a lot of things to talk about. It's Prediction Sunday. We're going to be coming at you fast with all these predictions for baseball, NHL, NBA. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. But first and foremost, boys, how we doing?
Pretty good, man. Good to be back on the podcast. Missed y'all boys. Nate, how you feeling, bro?
Hey, I'm smiling right now watching these Mavs go to work. Everybody thought I was crazy picking them over the Suns. So a 30-point lead at half. I think the real story is 27 points at halftime, but I can't wait to dive in
27
to the
points for
show
who?
today.
Yeah, who
27
you
points
talking
for the
about
Suns
there?
or for Luka Doncic? Because
Luka
he's
doesn't
matched
surprise
them.
me, but Suns, that surprises me.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Pretty nuts, man. I don't think anybody could have predicted the Suns having 27 points at halftime. But
Insane.
they are a team that's got some good leadership on there, so I could definitely see it being a game in the second half. I don't think it's over by any means, but they have
No.
quite a hole to dig out of. Speaking of crazy games, though, we're repping the Rangers stuff right now. Rangers are down 3-2 going into the third period. So if I get in a very bad mood in about 30 minutes, just know that it's not because of our listeners. I'm not mad at you. And we just won't talk about it, okay? So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Like I said, we're going to get into what has been one of the craziest 2 days of sports that I've been a part of in a long time. There has been 7 game 7s scheduled the last 2 days. 3 of them happened last night. We had 4 of them today. 2 of them are live. One of them ended already, and we got a game starting at 8:30. We've got game 7 galore, winner take all, do or die. And I don't think there's anything better in sports, boys. What do you think? A do or die game? Anything better than that?
No, I mean I agree 100%. I mean when it comes down to it, two teams battling for either to win the championship, move on to the next round, no matter what it is, do or die games. I mean, nothing more exciting in sports, in my opinion.
For sure.
Oh yeah, I'm excited, and I know we do or die games like in baseball. They'll do the one game playoffs and stuff, but nothing's like a series that full of ups and downs. Both teams playing good, having their time. 3 games apiece, down to the last game. There's
Yeah.
nothing
Well, in
like it, man.
baseball,
Yeah.
one game playoffs, yeah, there's storylines and stuff, but like I said, it is just one game. A game 7, you have 6 games of storylines leading up to it, and it all boils down to one. There's storylines, but it really doesn't matter what happened in those first 6 because it's one game.
Yeah.
So
Lucas got
pretty
9
crazy.
rebounds right now to the Suns 20.
One man wrecking
Anyway,
ball.
sorry, I just saw that.
Yeah, Nate is over there falling in love with Luka Doncic. But let's talk about a couple of the games from Saturday. We had 3 hockey games, game 7s that happened. The Bruins and the Hurricanes. I was pretty surprised that this series went as long as it did, even though the Bruins do have really good playoff history. Hurricanes were a much better team throughout the year and one of the best teams in the NHL. And the Hurricanes won 3-2. They won it. They won by keeping their penalties down. And one of the big things we're going to talk about over these game 7s is we have some unsung heroes that came to play.
Yeah,
Max Domi, am I saying that right?
you're saying it right.
Domi,
Max
yeah.
Domi.
3 points for the Hurricanes. Scored 2 goals and an assist, I believe, as they took down the Bruins. He was a mid-season acquisition for them. Hasn't really even been that much of a factor. I mean, he's played on their lines, but hasn't been any like in their main, and hasn't really done anything this series. I believe those were his first 2 goals of the whole series. And Carolina came out, snuck out, and won. It snaps their streak of losing to Boston in the playoffs. They finally got the revenge. They've lost their last 2 playoff series to Boston. So they came back and took this one. Any takeaways from the series?
Well, the home team won every time, I think, right? Yep. The Bruins won the 3 games, so the home team won. And, I mean, not a lot to say, but huge Huge display of depth scoring. I know Max Domi, he kind of showed out, but the depth scoring for the Bruins just wasn't there. Guys like Craig Smith and Taylor Hall, two guys that have helped them all season, just were non-existent in that series. And like you said, we talked about Marchand, Pastrnak, Bergeron, that line, and even Marchand specifically. When they showed up, they won. When they didn't, they got no help from anybody else. And it just and also if you give up the first goal in 6 of the 7 games,
not a winning recipe.
Yeah, not a winning recipe for the other team starting off hot, getting what they want to do, get their offense going, and seeing the net through or seeing the puck in the back of the net. Wasn't in this series too. I don't know if it was Marchand or who it was, but you guys see the puck actually went through the top of the net, and they were like continuing to play. They shot one and it went high right underneath the back bar, and the puck went right through the net. Everybody keeps playing, and like the guy's like, "Wait a second, I just made that," and then like the ref stopped playing. Like suddenly, they review all the goals. Sometimes if something crosses the line or something happens, so basically like they'll just sound a horn right in the middle of play if there actually was a goal, so they can stop. So they sounded the horn, and that was hilarious. Though watching that, I've never seen that before, but the puck going right through the net. But yeah, Hurricanes are deep, and they're going to play the winner of your Rangers and Penguins. So we'll see.
Yes, pretty crazy. The next one, my favorite series to watch this entire playoffs.
Sad.
Even more than the Rangers series. I'm a big Rangers fan, obviously, but this Lightnings and Maple Leafs series was one for the books. Two very evenly matched teams that I wouldn't be surprised if either one of them went all the way to the Cup this year. And they unfortunately had to play each other round 1.
Yeah.
But the Maple Leafs did lose. The Lightning won 2-1. The back-to-back champs showed their prowess. Nate and I are a little bit small fans of the Maple Leafs, I guess you could say.
We love Austin Matthews.
We love Austin Matthews in that line. We love that team. They're a great team. But another unlikely hero, Nick Paul. He wins the game for Tampa Bay. He scores both of their goals. So they have all this star power, but this unsung hero, again, here come Game 7s. We're going to talk about that a lot, like I said. Game 7 unsung heroes. Pretty crazy. But he scored both their goals, and both goalies played very well. Vasilevsky, he gave up his first goal.
Huge reason they won was because of him,
Yeah, he only gave up one goal in this game, and they won, obviously. But that guy in series-deciding games, he's otherworldly. In his past 6 series-deciding games, he had thrown or shut out the opposing team, had not given up a goal. And he gave up one in this one, which is obviously nothing to be sad about. 1 goal in a game against the Toronto Maple Leafs is pretty insane. And Toronto moves to 0-9 in elimination games over the last 5 postseasons. Pretty sad if you're a Toronto fan seeing this team choke.
It's extremely sad. Like, put this in perspective. Like, every opening playoff round, your team making it to Game 7, the last 5 years, they have lost every Game 7 in their opening series. Like, take that into consideration. Like, imagine how tough it is. Because, and I know, like, fans, and, like, we can compare about, who's been in it, who's been in the blender as a fan for a sports city. Like, we can argue, New York with John, like, like we can talk about that kind of stuff. But when Toronto, if you're in Canada, like, hockey is life. I
said Seattle Mariners or something.
Or Seattle, yeah, I could say a lot of things, but you know what I'm saying? Like, hockey is life. You know what I mean? Like, when you're in Toronto, right. And I know they have basketball, but there's nothing like hockey in Canada. And when that team is like they're wanting it for the country, like they're wanting the Maple Leafs to succeed. And I thought it was their year.
You saw that from that commercial.
You've lost 5 Game 7s. Oh yeah, that is a good commercial. I do like that. And yes, I did. But that 5 Game 7s. And I think one reason, like one thing that I take away from this is that the Maple Leafs led the NHL in man advantage goals and power play goals with 27.3%. And in the playoffs, they were 14%. They were 4 for 28, 0 for 3 in Game 7. Like,
their bread and butter. They just couldn't score with what is supposed to be their biggest advantage.
The reason they were so good, they lost it. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, even Toronto, I'm going to touch on it just a little bit. Like you said, how Toronto Maple Leafs is life for that city. Because they have baseball as well. They have the Blue Jays. And the Yankees, when they were on their big winning streak, went to Toronto. And in the first game was Game 1, I believe, of the Maple Leafs and Lightning series, and the Blue Jays had 3,000 people in attendance to watch the Blue Jays and Yankees in a 40,000 plus stadium because they were all out watching the Maple Leafs. There's nothing like it. Obviously, with Canada, they take their hockey pretty seriously. It's pretty sad for them to lose like that, especially going in, having the best player in all of hockey, thinking that, you can do something pretty magical, and they couldn't get it done. But the Tampa Bay Lightning do move on, and they will be playing the Panthers. So that should be a pretty crazy good series as well.
It's going to be a good series.
That side of the bracket was pretty stacked.
Very stacked. And their three-peat chance lives on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
The Kings and Oilers, though, this is a game I watched from beginning to end. I watched a lot of this series because they are the late night series, and a lot of the other games were over by the time this came on. So I watched a lot of this series. And I wanted to just see a lot of Connor McDavid, and boy, did he show out in this game. Connor McDavid is a top 3 player in the sport, and he showed it. He scored or assisted on both goals for Edmonton. He assisted on the first goal and then had a pretty nice move for the second goal for them.
Oh, yeah, that backhand, yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah. He's just disgusting, that guy. He blows my mind every time I watch him play. And he's so fast, man. He just looks like he's playing. You know when you play a YouTube video, you can play it like at regular speed, but then you can play it at like 1.5 speed. That's just how he plays hockey. He just plays that much faster than everybody else. And it's insane to watch. But both goalies played pretty terrific. Mike Smith saved 29 goals and had a shutout for the Oilers. But I felt pretty bad for the Kings goalie, Jonathan Quick. That guy is phenomenal. Played very well in this game. Had 39 goals, but 39 goals saved. But there's nothing he could really do. They just had the pressure on him the whole time. It seemed like these stats aren't in front of me, and I don't quote me on this. But it seemed like the Oilers were in the offensive zone 70% of the game. Mm-hmm. That's what it seemed like to me. There was just pressure all over him the whole time. But one thing that was pretty interesting. This was a very intense game and very there was a lot of pressure in this game. It felt like it was just like really tense the whole time. There was one penalty in the entire game. So, like there was not any special teams going on. It was 5-on-5 the whole time besides one penalty by the Kings. It's pretty crazy game, but overall the Kings were just the inferior team. I mean, props to them for taking it to 7 games. The Oilers were much better than them, in my opinion. And they took them to 7 games, and it took the best player in the series to assist or score on both goals for them to win. So I think the Kings played very well and rose above what their talent probably is. But
not much to say. But I mean, I think the Kings, it just wasn't their time, and I think I would be very excited if I was a Kings fan because you weren't even supposed to be in this series. They have, I think I just said 11 Kings on the team, made their NHL postseason debut. And just to see them fight and see how resilient they were. Like if I was an LA Kings fan, like I would be kind of excited that I think we would be a real cup contender in seasons to come, honestly, because of the way they played and the way they battled back and missing their 2 best defensive men and their leader out there, Drew Doughty. He sustained a wrist injury on March 7 and was out, had to have season-ending surgery in April, and they really, they needed him, and also they lost Sean Walker too. So just couldn't match up that well. But I think they're a young team, and they'll be back for sure. But I love to see Connor McDavid go off.
That's no doubt. Yeah, and the Oilers will play the winner of the game later tonight. Stars and Flames should be starting here in about 15 minutes or so. They'll play the winner of that. And that's all for Game 7 yesterday. A lot of fun hockey to be watched. And definitely got my blood pumping, got my veins full of ice right now. I'm just a hockey fan to the brim. And today, Game 7s. There's a couple of them. We got four actually.
2-2.
Penguins and Rangers are playing right now. It's 3-2 Penguins.
Just started the third period.
Yep.
Got my eye on it for you.
17 minutes left in the third period. And big story in this game. Penguins are up by 1. They have 34 shots on goal, and the Rangers only have 20. We need to get more pressure. And just kind of the story of this whole postseason for us. We just playing a lot of defense and not being on attack enough. Relying on Igor to stop the offensive onslaught from the Penguins and just try to, play good defense and throw a shutout, which obviously is not easy to do in the playoffs, no matter how good of a goalie you are. So we'll keep our eye on that one. We'll revisit that when the Rangers win in 16 minutes. But then, like I said, the Flames and Stars will be playing tonight at 8:30. And that's it for the hockey front. We got a couple basketball games to discuss, though. Game earlier. Did either one of you guys catch this game?
Yeah. Yep.
Josh, give me your takeaway from this game, man.
Honestly, it was, besides the first quarter, the Boston Celtics absolutely dominated this game. I mean, they outscored the Bucks in every quarter by 10 plus almost. And I mean, you were talking about with the NHL, kind of like them unlikely heroes in this game. But for the Celtics, you had Grant Williams, who dropped 27.
Wow. Yeah.
Dude was absolutely, it seemed like he was hitting everything. And then coming off the bench, also, you had that, what is his name? Pritchard or something like that.
Peyton Pritchard. Yeah.
Yeah.
From Virginia. Was he from Virginia?
I don't know where he's from, but he had
Oregon.
14.
He was on Oregon.
Yeah,
was
Oregon.
it's him and Dylan Brooks are probably buddies, two Oregon people.
Yeah, poor guy. Anyways, he had 14 and shot 4 from 6 from 3, so he had a pretty good game also. But the Celtics absolutely dominated the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like it.
I think the Celtics played a very just a fantastic brand of basketball in this game. Played suffocating defense, passed the ball very well, got the ball to open shooters, got the ball to just open men. Tatum had a very good game. He shot pretty efficiently from the field, but like you said, Grant Williams went off, dropped 27 in a do-or-die game. Giannis had 25, which we talked about this before. Giannis is going to score 25 points per game, no matter what. You have to stop him from getting 44. That's the way you're going to win this series. And they did. They stopped him on his signature drive to the bucket where he drives, he either gets fouled, he scores, or he kicks out somebody. And they stopped him. They completely stopped him in his tracks and made him look pretty dumb. And on top of that, the Bucks couldn't shoot. I mean, they couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with a BB gun if they wanted to. They went 4 for 33 from deep.
That's not. You're not going to win that way.
I mean,
the Celtics were
put us 3 out there, and
3.
we're hitting better than that in an NBA game. Come on now. 4 for 33.
Sometimes it falls down to the 3-point. Honestly, you look at 3-point percentage, who's making the 3-point, who ain't. And that can decide a game, honestly.
Well, yes, you're right. But it's also if a team decides to stick with it. They went 4 for 33. They very easily, after the first 15 shots, be like, okay, we have to try to pound the ball in. We got to play a different brand of basketball. And they probably could have, they maybe could have, made the game closer. I wouldn't say they'd win, but could have made it closer. But they just kept jacking the threes up. You shoot 4 for 33. You missed 29 threes. They just kept shooting them. They're just expecting them to go in. Nobody's hitting them. You got to try something else. They look like the only person really attacking and playing an aggressive brand was Giannis. And they were doing everything they could to stop him, and they basically did.
Yeah, and I mean, this game really showed to me how bad the Bucks really miss Middleton. Giannis put up. I mean, how many? Let me look at this real quick.
20 rebounds. Is that what you're looking at?
No, 26 shots by Giannis, and then Drew Holiday had 21. I mean, you put Middleton in there. I'm not going to say they're going to win, but this game could
He's
well
more of
be
a consistent
much
shooter
closer.
For sure. He's very
some
consistent.
production out of him.
Yeah, I guarantee you they're not going to be shooting 12% from 3 with Middleton in the game. But
Giannis missed a lot of layups. I saw some highlights and was watching, and it's like he got cold.
Physical.
And there was one part of the game that I saw Tatum, he had injury, or not injury, but he had foul trouble. And I saw Tatum, he picked up his 4th foul early in the 3rd quarter after we went on a run. I think it was an 8-point game. And it was okay, the Bucks have to make a run here with Tatum out. And the Boston still beat them in that run. I think it was they outscored them 18-11 when Tatum was sitting on the bench, just showing how deep and how good the Celtics were with picking up the pieces, honestly.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we talked about this series obviously before it started, and we said that in order for the Celtics to win this, like they needed to play team defense when it came to guarding Giannis. And I mean, that's what they did in this game. And I feel like, that obviously played a major role in, how this game turned out.
I mean, just sign us all up to be head coaches of teams, man, because you go back and you look at our tape. Go back, watch the tape of the podcast. Let me tell you, because we said Giannis is going to score 20, 25 points, but you can't let him score 40.
Yeah.
Because he's going to get his, but the 40 opens it up for everybody else. And usually when Giannis shoots or scores over 40, his team shoots pretty well too, because he's getting what he wants. They focus on him. He gets to open shooters. They make their shots. Bang, bang, bang. But if you can stop Giannis from getting the easy stuff, his team's not going to get anything easy either.
Yeah.
And they scored 81 points. I mean, you score 81 points in an NBA game, you're losing 99.9% of the time. So, I mean, it's just.
And that 4 for 33 that the Bucks went, the 12.1%, that I saw a stat, that was the second worst 3-point percentage in a playoff game ever.
Wow.
Ever. Minimum of 30 attempts, but ever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Usually a team, you shoot that much, you say, okay, it's not working. We got to move on to something else. They just kept jacking them up.
They needed to be aggressive. But, I mean, Grant Williams, who would have thought dude would score a career high on a Game 7? I mean, but the Celtics, they are deep, and that's one reason why I had them going all the way and why I picked them. It was like, man, these guys are deep. They got some studs that can score the ball. You got an upcoming star in Tatum, I mean, they just looked good, honestly. So I'm not surprised. I thought they were going to win. It was close, but I think all of us had the Celtics and we didn't waver.
We did. But I think we need to move on because Luka just hit a big 3. This guy is going off. He's got 30. The Suns still have 27. 29 now. A little 8 and up and in. They're up 65-29.
The defense is suffocating, though. Like, I just saw Ayton score, and it's like they're all over him.
Yeah. Wow.
Dang.
Luka is playing crazy, man. He's playing out of his mind.
He's got more points than the Suns.
Yep.
Yeah, he's beating them by himself. That's insane.
Yeah, this is crazy.
That is absolutely insane.
Dinwiddie's got, Dinwiddie's got 21 points off the bench.
Hey, that's my guy.
He's
Spencer
playing very
Dinwiddie.
Well. The Mavs have 30 from Luka, 21 from Dinwiddie, and the Suns don't have anybody who scored double digits yet.
But when Luka gets help, though, and he has a few guys that can score, there's nobody on this team that you can say, oh, that's a true number 2. Honestly,
exactly. Yeah,
you can't say that, unfortunately, and that's why I think the Warriors are going to beat them. But I don't know. I mean, if you do have some guys show up, like, Bullock knocks down a few threes, Jalen Brunson is kind of becoming a little bit more of himself, and then you got guys like Spencer Dinwiddie, who has shown us he's an all-star. Like, he was an all-star a couple years ago. They are a decent team.
I'm just gonna say this: one person that I think like we're forgetting about is Tim Hardaway. Like that dude plays a major role on this team. I mean, he still no number 2, but that besides Luka, that guy's one of the more consistent scorers on that team. I know, Tim, you kind of got a little bit of.
He don't shoot consistently, all right. He might drop 20 points, but he's gonna have to shoot 30 times.
Hey, I mean that's more than what a lot of these guys are doing with Luka.
He brings shame to the name Tim. But no,
you have so many shooters on Dallas though, like Maxi Kleber and that who's that other tall Bertans? Like those are two like just pure 3-point shooters. Like
listen to these real quick, okay? I'm looking at the box score. Chris Paul and Devin Booker are combined 0 for 11 from the field and 0 for 4 from 3.
Jeez.
They have four combined points from the free throw line.
Well, yeah, Booker's at the line right now. He's 0 for 9, but he's
Bridges is 3 for 10. Crowder's 2 for 7.
We got a little comment from our buddy. He said Tim knows Tim more than anyone because of the Knicks. That's funny.
Yeah. Hoodie knows best, all right? Let me tell you, Tim Hardaway Jr., he ain't it, all right? The Mavs might miss him a little bit, but in this game, they ain't missing nobody.
Maybe it's the Knicks' fault. Maybe it's not the players' fault,
All right, guys. Have a good night. We're signing off. We'll see you guys next week.
Oh, man.
No, he's always been he can always score. That's not his problem. It's his ability. Like, he's going to score 20 no matter if it takes him 9 shots or 30, but he's going to score 20. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to keep jacking up the shots till he gets those points. And he's one of those guys that doesn't know if it's his off night or not because he's just going to continue to shoot the ball.
You know what this Mavs team reminds me of? Like, you know, the old Cavs teams where it's like LeBron, like all you told, like when LeBron was young and it was like, obviously they couldn't get past the Warriors, but even when they won, it's like, just surround him with shooters. Like, surround him with shooters, go to your corner, wait for him to make it play, like as a playmaker, drive and just be ready to catch the ball and shoot. 40% or above, and that's a winning recipe. And that's what it kind of reminds me of, like the Mavs, the way they're structured. It's like, Luka, go to work, be a playmaker, score inside, outside, you know, because the dude's footwork inside is insane. I love watching that. But I mean, he's surrounded by shooters that can just pop it out, and these guys are making it. And when they do make it, it is a scary team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think people still really underestimate how good Luka Doncic really is.
Yeah,
he is pretty unguardable, and he. Like I was telling you guys, we were talking before the stream started. He's not a guy you can really unnerve, you know, really rattle. This guy's been playing professional basketball and getting paid for it since he was like 13 years old. This is nothing new to him. He's young, but he's been doing this for over a decade now. Yeah, granted, it's in Europe, but Europe is the second most competitive compared to the NBA. And some people say it's like not a huge difference. Like, obviously it's a big difference, but not like
Finney Smith.
Not like it's not like you're going from Japan to MLB. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Dude, what the
Finney Smith just locked somebody up, and now
Bullock hit a
3. The Suns are jagged. You know who I feel sorry for the most though right now is Chris Paul. I mean, he was supposed to win it last year, honestly. Like, I think a lot of people had the Suns over the Bucks, and yeah.
I mean, I think the last year was the Suns' year to do it if they were going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I think everybody said that. And then the Bucks kind of were like, whoa, where'd they come from? And, you know, Giannis just forming into a beast,
Chris Paul's
which he is.
Too short to play in today's NBA.
No, I wouldn't say that.
But the thing about Luka is, like,
just trying to throw hot takes out there.
Even watching Luka, like, just the things that he does, like, I think Jokic might have a shot at beating him in like a sprint down the court. Like, I know Jokic is slow, but Luka is not fast. Like, when you watch him, it's like he plays at his own speed, and it's like it don't matter if you're faster. Like, he's getting around you, his footwork, like, it just shows that there's more to the game than, like, he's not fast. Like, I don't know why you're looking at that, Tim.
I get what
he's not fast.
Yeah, and that I just feel like that's where like what Tim was saying.
You don't think he's beating Jokic in a foot race?
I'm just being dramatic and exaggerating, but I'm just saying, like, Luka's not fast. Like, you see his Euro steps when Luka does. It's like 1 and then 2, and then he pauses and kind of like, you know, double clutches or whatever. But it's
he's also taller than people realize, though. I mean, he plays to where he doesn't look like as big as he is, but he's tall and he's pretty broad. Like, he's a hard guy to guard.
Yeah, no, he's a big guy, but like
40-point lead right now.
I mean, who would have saw this coming? Like, this is insane.
And like, imagine being in that stadium right now, going to a game 7. You know, maybe it's your first playoff game. You're in Phoenix. You're in the Valley right now, and you're watching your team get destroyed.
Yeah, you know what's crazy though? Luka's got 30 and he's got 3 assists. You can literally take him out of this game, and they're still winning at this point.
Mm-hmm.
What? I mean, obviously he does things to help them score, and you can't just do that. You can't just take him out of the game. But if you look at the box score, he literally could take him out of the game, and they'd still be winning.
Oh, Cameron Payne's in now. Let's see what he can do.
Trash.
Westbrook's TikTok partner.
We will we'll get back to these games as they finish up. The Rangers are just finishing up the power play right here and did not score again. 8.5 minutes to try to score. We're back to full strength, and this Mavs Suns game is all but over.
What game 7 do we have? Stars and Flames? Is that the only thing we have left? And or did we already talk about that?
Well, yeah, I said it's at 8:30, but there's really not a lot to say yet. That's been a kind of a boring series, really. But the Flames probably should have ended the Stars a while ago. And the Stars, it's kind of like the Kings for me. The Stars are kind of playing up to their competition, and the Flames are playing down to their competition. So
Yeah.
Flames should win this game, and they shouldn't really have an issue. But again, it's the NHL. Game 7, anything can happen. But we're going to move
very
on.
Emotional, though. It's been low scoring, but it has been very emotional, and there's been
It's
it's
been fun.
a lot of tempers have flared. No pun intended with the Flames, but I'm excited. I'm going to turn it on for sure when that game.
For sure.
It's going.
It's another one of those games that they're late at night, so I usually get to watch them because there's not a whole lot else on.
Mm-hmm.
But we will come back to those if either one of those games end while we're on stream.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to move on to a little bit of baseball. My favorite. I love to talk some baseball here. If Josh and Nate fall asleep, just wake them up. But
I like baseball.
I know you do. I know.
Softball team's 1-0 too. Josh was
right.
Here when we talked about that.
Yep. And in case anybody wanted to know again, I'm going to bring it up. I do have the highest batting average of the 3 guys on Bleacher Takes. So just wanted to let that be known.
Shout out Curtis Smith for hitting 2 home runs.
2 bombs. Two bombs. You can't tell home runs. That man bombed those.
I don't even think dude hit 2 all year last year.
No, last year was kind of a slumpy year for him. He didn't get hurt, but he just didn't hit.
He said we need to get on his level, his 183. I'm going to let him know. I'm way past 183, so I don't know if it's 183
if
or
I need to cut or what. Or I don't know if I need to take 12 ibuprofen in the morning or what.
I'm going to tell you what dude did. I showed up to the game, 45, 30 minutes early, and dude sat in his car and said he's been napping for 4 hours pregame. I'm like, napping for – dude came out in, like, socks and, like bro, I just woke up. I've been sitting in my car. I just woke up. Like, dude, it's game time, man. What you mean? Get out there and smack 2 home runs.
Yeah, boy did play out of his mind. He played pretty well. 2 home runs, but
team looked good. Team looked good.
We did. We were playing a team that probably shouldn't have
didn't look good
in the league. Should probably stick to clipping hair, Brian. If you're watching this, what's up, bro? But you should probably retire from softball. We'll talk about it a little bit on Tuesday when I get my hair cut. But yeah, but standings update in baseball. We got cool things going on with the standings. We got a lot of cool series going on. The Phillies and the Dodgers played a 4-game series. Phillies are one of those teams that I picked as it being on. Let's go! Rangers just scored, baby. Rangers just scored. Sorry, guys. Oh, my Lord.
Is it 3-3?
Freaking go. Yeah, 3-3. None other than Mika Zibanejad. Let's go, baby.
This guy.
Let's go. Okay, sorry. We're back to baseball. 4-game series, Phillies-Dodgers. The Phillies took 3 of 4 from the Dodgers. The Dodgers won today, but they only won 5-4. They were in danger of getting a 4-game swept by the Phillies. Pretty poor playing this weekend by the Dodgers. They did not pitch well. They gave up 9 runs in game 1, 12 runs in game 2, 8 runs in game 3, and 4 runs in game 4. They did not pitch well, did not play very well, but they snuck out a win in game 4.
Oh, they did have one pitch that was insane. I don't know if you saw it on social media, but imagine swinging at a ball that goes between your legs. Josh is probably You see that?
Yeah.
Ball went between Abdul Herrera's legs.
Yeah,
that was insane.
Pretty nasty. Speaking of nasty, the St. Louis Cardinals are up 13-2 on Sunday Night Baseball. This is a big series. The Giants and Dodgers are meeting for the second time in 2 weeks, and have played some pretty nasty baseball against each other. The Giants took game 1 8-2, but then the Cardinals won 4-0 yesterday. And today there was a big pitching matchup. Adam Wainwright was starting for the Cardinals, a guy that I know Nate is fully in love with. And the Giants started Carlos Rodon. And there was actually an article that said Carlos Rodon's fastball has been the best pitch in baseball this year. And I found that pretty interesting. I knew he's been pretty good, but his 4-seam fastball, and he doesn't throw overly hard either. He averages about 90, 95 on the gun, 94.
Mm-hmm.
And he apparently had the best pitch in baseball with his 4-seam, and then got hit around, gave up 10 hits and 8 earned runs against the Cardinals in 3 2/3 innings today.
That's crazy.
So
they were hitting him hard.
I would say check those stats again, and I think his fastball is probably not the best in baseball anymore. At least it wasn't.
What's crazy
tonight.
is Wainwright has been off for almost 2 weeks. Like they just activated him from injury today. Like he just got back today. So
yeah, he pitched well. He went 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 3 hits, 5 strikeouts. He pitched very well, and they're up 13-2 in the bottom of the 7th. So it looks like the Cardinals are going to take this series, take 2 of 3 from the Giants. The Blue Jays played the Rays, a big AL East showdown. I love it when these teams beat up on each other. It's just good for me. And game 1, the Rays took 5-2. Game 2, the Blue Jays took 5-1. And today, the Rays shut out the Blue Jays and won 3-0, and they took this series. They took 2 of 3. And it's kind of bittersweet for me because the Rays are ahead in the standings, but I am more scared of the Blue Jays. So I like that the Blue Jays are losing, but the Rays are ahead in the standings. So kind of bittersweet there. And then you guys knew that I couldn't talk about big series and not include the Yankees, right? The Yankees played the Chicago White Sox. White Sox who are underperforming this year and are a team that's hovering around 500 that should probably be 10 games above 500. And their team is just not playing up to par. And they played 4-game series against the hottest and best team in baseball, and it did not end very well for them. Yeah. Game 1 Thursday night, I texted these 2 boys and let them know as to what the Yankees just did to the White Sox, and told them they should probably call 911 and report abuse because the Yankees abused them on Thursday night. On Thursday night, it was 7-7. And then in 10 minutes, literally it took them 10 minutes, the Yankees scored 7 runs and were up 14-7. Big home runs by Josh Donaldson, Giancarlo Stanton. There was timely hitting. And they won that game 15-7. Game 2, the Yankees won 10-4. So in the first 2 games of this series, they scored 25 runs.
Scoring a lot, yeah.
Game 3, the White Sox did win on a walk-off hit, 3-2 against Aroldis Chapman. Chapman had pitched very well coming into that game, but gave up some.
He's getting old, Tim. He's getting old.
I mean, so are you, but we're not talking about that. He walked a couple people.
Explain to me how the Yankees had 2 hits today and still won 5-1.
We're getting to that, okay? We're getting to that. The Yankees then win 5-1 today, and we had 2 hits. All right, so the Yankees have decided that baseball is too easy for them. So they're trying a couple of things. They're trying to they were trying to get no hit and win, but another team did that for them instead. We'll get to that in just a second. The Yankees, they were up 3-1 and only had 1 hit, and I'll tell you how. In the bottom of the 3rd inning, the White Sox pitcher, who started for them today?
Michael Kopech.
Kopech.
Who's a beast.
He used to be.
Tell me how he's like 23 years old.
Okay, hold on. Tell me this. This guy was throwing 105 in low A. This guy's average fastball today was 94. I was looking that up. I know. I was looking. Yeah, and he lost 10 miles per hour on his fastball.
Hey, but he still has experience. They'll do that to you.
Yeah, and even after this game, his ERA is still 1.54. Like, dude is an absolute disgusting.
Okay, yes, he's playing well this year. But I saw that, and I saw his fastball, and I was like, I knew this guy used to throw 105. And I know he had surgery. I know he had injuries. But these surgeries have come a long way. Guys that have Tommy John aren't throwing any less than what they have been. But this guy is 10 miles per hour or less. I mean, he was not averaging 105. He was averaging about 99 on the ground.
Yeah, he could throw the ball.
And now he's averaging about 94. So I think that's kind of interesting. But he was pretty nasty against the Yankees today, but he had a bad 3rd inning. He walked, I think it was Joey Gallo. Yeah, he walked Joey Gallo with 1 out. Then Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. What do you mean? Gallo
doesn't – he's got a swing.
No. He's a 3 true outcome player. He home runs, strikeouts, or walks. He never gets any hits. But he walks a lot. He does walk a lot. He walked. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa got our first hit of the game. And then we had another walk, and Aaron Hicks took a bases loaded walk. And made it 1-0. And then another bases loaded walk to make it 2-0. Then a wild pitch by Kopech made it 3-0. So one hit, and we were up 3-0. The White Sox scored a run, and then Mr. Always swings, according to Nate, in the top of the 9th inning. Joey Gallo hits a 2-run bomb, and the Yankees won 5-1 with only having 2 hits in the game.
It's crazy.
Because, there was somebody on for Gallo. It was Josh Donaldson due to a walk. The Yankees are the walkers, man. All we do is walk, and good things happen. Won 5-1 and only had 2 hits. But I do want to talk about a game that literally nobody in America was watching. The Cincinnati Reds played the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Well, they wanted to make sure somebody was not going to poop in the Reds truck in the stadium. So there might have been some people watching.
There was 18 trash cans on the field. I'm just playing. The players are good. The organizations suck. And I started tuning in and kind of watching this game closely when I got some suspicious text or suspicious tweets from a couple of the reporters I follow saying Hunter Green was having a really good game. Usually when they say that means he's no hitting them. But they're pretty superstitious. So I look it up. Hunter Green no hit the Pirates through 7 innings, and the pitching staff no hit them through the 2 next innings. But a bases loaded fielder's choice that should have been a double play, but Ke'Bryan Hayes is just too fast, and they scored. The Pirates scored a run, and they won 1-0 over the Cincinnati Reds without recording a hit. Baseball is fun, man. You can't make this stuff up. It's insane. But I
can't imagine that.
Yeah, you imagine your team, hit the other team, and you lose. Man. But I do want to give a little standings update here.
Oh, I wanted to say, too, that the Mets, I wanted to bring this up, lost their first series this year.
I've seen that, yep.
They actually
Mariners.
They have not looked very good as of late. They are on a little bit of a skid. I was actually looking. Let me pull them up real quick. And I thought I saw that they had lost quite a few games here recently. Yeah, so they 1, 2, 3, 4 games of 4. They're 4-4 in their last 8 games.
Yeah.
So again, I mean that's not horrible, but as hot as the Mets started out, it's something to note. It's something to kind of watch for.
Yeah.
But obviously you can't win every game. But the Yankees,
and it's still real early on, also.
Right? So. But the Yankees don't believe that. They think you can win every game because they're 25-9, the only team with single-digit losses still. 25-9, best record in baseball.
This guy.
And hey, let me have my glory, man. Okay. And the Rays are 4.5 games back from them, and they will not catch us. The AL Central, the Twins are 20-15. The Guardians are 3 games back from them. The Guardians have played pretty well this year. Pretty surprised by them. They can hit, and they're one of the best offenses in baseball, actually. And their pitching, which has been so good the last few years, has not been very good. Shane Bieber has been pretty awful for them this year. So if he can get it going, the Guardians team could be a team to really watch for.
Jose Ramirez is so nasty, dude.
Oh, yeah. He's disgusting. He's the biggest bargain in baseball. A guy who's, after arbitration, signed a big contract extension to stay with them, and they said he lost out on probably $100 million in free agency just by re-signing with them. Yeah. Pretty insane. But insane. Loyalty. Yeah. And the AL West, 2 teams that we said were going to be neck and neck the whole year, and they are. The Mariners have fallen behind, but the Astros and Angels are tied for first place in this. The Astros technically have a better winning percentage. The Astros are 23-12. The Angels are 24-13. But they're tied at the top of the division, and should be a good fight the rest of the year. Rangers Penguins going to overtime.
It's looking like they are, but I do want to say the Angels. I don't know, man. I love watching this team play. I'm just excited for Mike Trout. You know what I mean?
Yep.
To just see them do well, and Ohtani, and they're a fun team to watch for sure.
Yeah, and I mean they've played really well this year, and they've been able to keep their guys healthy. A lot of times they just get a guy hurt and bad things happen, obviously. But I do want to talk about somebody on them real quick. Taylor Ward. You guys know that name?
Oh, yeah.
Taylor Ward on the Angels. Outfielder who is having a better year than Mike Trout. A guy who legitimately, if the season ended today, would finish in the top 5 for MVP, maybe even higher than that. And this guy he's playing lights out. He is a guy that, I mean, they didn't really see this coming. And he's not a young guy. I think he's like 29. He's 28. And he's playing absolutely lights out. In the years before, this guy is a career 250 hitter. And he's batting 385 this year with a 1.247 OPS. He's got 8 home runs, 22 RBIs. Like he's playing pretty incredible. And he's been key to the Angels being as good as they are.
Yeah. And I mean, we've talked about that like numerous times. Is like it was kind of the same, like Mike Trout just needed help, kind of the same way with Lukey, you know, like just needed pieces around him that would show up. And you know, this year is like, I think it's their
the money.
year.
They've done it. They've spent the money. They got Shohei, Noah Syndergaard, Ward, Trout. Obviously, Rendon's been there. David Fletcher is consistent as they come. And they've got a good squad. So if they can just stay healthy, which is what we always say about the Angels, they can stay healthy and pitch because we know they're going to hit.
Yeah.
They can be pretty nasty. But yeah, they're tied with the Astros in the AL West. In the NL East, we did talk about the Mets. They're 23-13. They've been on a little skid here recently, but the Phillies are 5.5 games back in one of the more lower end divisions in baseball. They seem like it should be a decent division, but all the teams in there are not very good besides the Mets. The Phillies should be good, but maybe the Phillies will turn it around. They just took 3 or 4 from the Dodgers, like I said.
I still think the Phillies will turn out to look good, and I think the Braves can look good. And honestly, the people are saying the Marlins could sneak in, and
well, yeah, and that's what people say. And on paper, they have good rosters, but in a division that is as even as that, you got to think they play each other more than anybody else. They're going to beat up on each other, and it's going to be hard for those teams to make the playoffs and for them to, you know, play well and really get on a roll.
This is one I mean, the MLB season's like what 162 games, right? It's just for me personally, it's too long on for me to say anything about any teams. I don't really like talking about it or making predictions until like midway through the season after, you know, All-Star break around there. But I don't know. Like,
but what's the fun in that, Josh?
I mean, no, you're right. But the way, like you said, the way that division stacks up, man, it's just it's too hard to say.
Yeah. Yep. It is. And we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of baseball left, and a lot of baseball to be talked about, and we will talk about a lot of baseball. I'll tell you that much. And stay tuned for our later episodes because we'll really deep dive into this stuff. Once these playoffs are over, with these playoffs, that's all we really want to talk about. We want to get you some baseball content too.
Yeah. So. Once this NHL stuff's over with,
boy,
this guy,
the NL Central guy. We got 2 Cardinals. We have 1 Cardinals fan, 1 part-time Cardinals fan in here. The Brewers are 22-13, leading the division still. Cardinals are 3 games back, but it seems like they're going to win this Giants game. It's 15-2 now. Are you guys trying to prove a point, or you guys done? Or
we might score 3 touchdowns. You never know.
Yeah, man. Sheesh. But yeah, it looks like Cardinals will end up being 2.5 back once it's over with. But Josh, your Padres. The Dodgers lost 3 of 4 to the Phillies. And so they are tied with the Padres for first in the NL West. The Padres are 22-13. The Dodgers are 21-12. Padres are playing a very good brand of baseball. They just signed Robinson Cano, which Josh texted us that, and he's pretty hyped about it. And I think it's a good signing. I think it adds a little depth piece for them, adds a little DH split with Luke Voit if they need it. Obviously, I think, you know, Cano's way out of his prime, but he's still a productive hitter and can be a productive hitter in the right spots. He shouldn't be a starter every day, but I think he deserves a spot to hit on a big league club for sure. So I like to pick up for you guys, big veteran pickup there. But Today is Prediction Sunday. So we got through our preliminaries here. We want to get some predictions out here. We actually have not talked about our NHL predictions for the second round with any of us here yet. And we've sent out our MLB predictions to each other. And I was going to give you a little sneak peek of those today, but we decided against it. And we'll send out those graphics here soon. But we do have way too early, in Josh's opinion, way too early World Series predictions. And they're all kind of fun. They kind of have a little storyline. Josh, you got the Hollywood series. Who's the Hollywood series? Who do you got?
Yeah, I got the Angels and Dodgers, and like the reason I'm saying that is like the way the way the Angels are getting like production out of everybody. Well, not everybody, like a good portion of their lineup. You know, we really haven't seen that in recent years. So like with that, if they keep that up, I feel like that's a team that really could make it to the World Series and go all the way. And then I got the Dodgers, and it's the Dodgers. You can't ever count them out.
Not a whole lot you have to say about that.
Their lineup's nasty.
Yeah, a team that whose offense isn't really clicking yet, and they have one of the best one of the best rosters in baseball history, one of the best lineups, and not a whole lot you have to say about that, Josh. So yeah. But the Angels, that's a pretty good take there. That would be a crazy series, bringing baseball to LA only. An LA World Series would be pretty insane.
Yeah, that would be.
That would be cool.
Nate's got the Subway Series.
I do. I got Yankees and Mets. I said that at the very beginning, even before the whole 25-9. I've been saying it from the start. And
I'm sorry, what did you say? I couldn't hear you. You say what?
Yeah, I know. But I mean, I was on another podcast, it talks MLB, and I even said the same one, and I'm sticking with it. I said Yankees and Mets, and hey, people love baseball. They like to hear baseball too. So, but
I love baseball.
Yankees and Mets, I had that from the beginning. I just feel like it's the Yankees have a chip on their shoulder. Really, I thought the pitching of the Mets would drive them, like it's kind of doing. They have great hitters on their team. They're just all around solid. But the Yankees, I just feel like they have great pieces. The Yankees, I thought Rizzo was going to show out too, even from the beginning. Like he wasn't the Rizzo when we got him, and everybody's like, "Oh, we really want this guy, or should we keep him, or should get rid of him and try to get the Braves guy." I totally forgot his name.
Freddie Freeman.
Thank you, Freeman. But Rizzo coming into his own, and it's like, this guy can play, and we hear it all the time from Tim, how many gold gloves he has, and what a shoe size is, what flavor of gum he chews. I mean, he knows everything about the Yankees, as he should. He's a diehard fan. But I think it's going to be the New York Series, York Series, Subway Series. I think it's going to be it.
Anthony Rizzo is tailor-made for Yankee Stadium. People talk about the right field porch that we have, and it is a small porch, and he has 9 home runs on the year, and I believe 6 of them are wall scrapers. But hey, the visiting
home run's a home run.
Visiting team has the same opportunity to hit in our stadium. That's why I hate when people trash talk about Yankee Stadium. Listen, man, the other team can hit there too. They can. It's the same. It's not like we move the wall up when the Yankees are up to the bat. But yes, we are able to tailor our players to our liking and to that right field. But
I do love Giancarlo Stanton. Like I told a friend, I think it was like last year, I was like, when he was on that tear, I know he's been on a lot of tears to start a season. Like it always kind of happens, and he kind of injures and himself and like all this stuff. But I told somebody, I think it was like last year or something, like, man, Giancarlo Stanton, like he's going to cement himself as an MVP. Like I just know it. And it's like, I just love watching the dude effortlessly just swing. What is he? One of the best low ball hitters. He's got that foot in front of the other, and it's like it don't matter what he hits. That ball is just
he's one of the few power hitters that you would rather throw the ball up than down to.
Yeah,
like Aaron Judge, you want to throw him down, not up, and that's how most power hitters are. But Stanton, he just covers the lower half of that plate so well, and he's got so much power that he can flick the ball anywhere, and it just goes out, or he gets like. He hits into a lot of double play. Well, he has the highest average exit velocity of any batter.
Like
and
probably
it's
like what,
not
105, something like that.
Yeah, it's not close either.
Yeah, it's
Like
insane.
there's some guys who are big and ripped, but nobody touches him when it comes to exit velocity. I think the 5 hardest hit balls this year, he owns 4 of them.
Yeah.
He's just insane. And actually yesterday he hit a ball off the middle part of his bat, and it looked like he cranked that thing, but it's off the middle of his bat. Like that should be a ground ball to a shortstop. And it flew into left field and dropped right in front of the left fielder for a base hit. And like there's nobody in the league. Like there's probably 2 guys in the league maybe who can hit that just like that and make it go that far.
2 of them on the Yankees.
Yeah. I mean, the guy bats in front of him.
It's Judge and Stanton. Yeah, I'm looking at the average exit velocity right now on StatCast presented by a Google Cloud, and 97.4 is his average. And
that includes like bloopers
like
and
dribbler.
Like,
it includes
insane.
it includes everything, and then it's 96.6 for Judge, and then in second you got. I mean, Jose Abreu, Tommy Pham, and Yordan Alvarez are kind of close, but a lot of big guys. But yeah, I mean, these guys, and then he owns the max. They're the highest one at 119.8, almost 120.
Oh my word.
And the only person even close to him is Shohei, and then there's nobody else. Shohei has 119 one off the bat too.
I believe Stanton's 119 was a single as well. He crushed the ball.
I think so.
But that leads me to my World Series pick, and I'm calling it the money series. If baseball wants not only the teams that have the most money, but the teams that – because I don't even know if they have the most money now because the Mets have a lot of money. But I call this the money series because what would be better for the brand of baseball and for the overall marketing of the sport than to have a Yankees-Dodgers World Series? These two going head-to-head – 2 of the most storied franchises in baseball history going head to head. And I like you said, we can talk about the Yankees till we're blue in the face. And they're hitting on all cylinders. They're getting timely hitting. They're getting timely pitching. We haven't even really talked that much about Nestor Cortez Jr., who looks like a Cy Young candidate. And coming into the year, he was our 5th starter. This guy is disgusting. Garrett Cole has pitched very well. Luis Severino looks very good coming back from his injuries that he's had. Tyone and Montgomery have pitched well for us. Our lineup 1 through 9. Well, 1 through 8 has been very good. We need to solve our catching problems, but we have had good defense behind the plate. So at least we've had that. We need to get a couple guys going, but I mean, our team's just hitting. We're having timely hitting. We're getting timely walks, like you said, and we're hitting big home runs at the right time. Usually the Yankees of past have hit a lot of home runs, but they hit a lot of home runs with nobody on base. So that doesn't really do you a whole lot of good. This year they're coming up with timely home runs with people on base. Aaron Judge had a walk-off home run that I called these boys and screamed in their faces.
Wasn't that his
at night.
First of his career or something like that?
Yes, but it is kind of that is misleading. Since 2021, since the beginning of last year, the most hits to tie the game or to put your team in the lead in the 8th inning or later, so known as a clutch hit. Who's got the most in baseball? Aaron Judge, baby!
I was just going to say Tony Kemp, but...
No, not Tony Kemp. But Aaron Judge. So he's on an MVP tear. The Yankees offered him $210 million extension. He turned it down, and it looks like he bet on himself, and he bet very well. I need to call him up and see what his bets are on some of these playoff games because it seems like he's a pretty good bettor. But the Yankees-Dodgers money series, don't really have a whole lot to say about those. But I think any one of these 3 series, if they happened, would be very exciting and very fun to watch.
Yeah. I think yours is probably the most, like, people would put money on yours if they had to put money on any of them.
For sure. Yeah. And,
just because of where we're at right now. But, I mean, honestly, you just never know. I mean, it's
right. I could see a lot of teams making it, and it is way too early to make a World Series prediction. But, I mean,
unless you're Trevor Plouffe.
What would be better for the MLB brand than the Yankees-Dodgers? Maybe come on.
Yeah.
So, moving on to NHL, Josh.
We got to have Josh do predictions. I think the listeners.
I think they need to know, Josh.
The listeners have to know. What
the
Josh
Rangers and Penguins are in overtime, and this is the first series. You see my Rangers pulling this game out?
At home, the crowd's on their side. They just tied it. Momentum. I got the Rangers pulling this one out against the Pens. I do. I had them winning the game anyway.
Josh is about to say the Penguins are going to win, and I'm going to mute his mic if that's what you're going to say, and I'll let you try again.
No, I'm just going to say that just for argument's sake. I got the Penguins taking this one.
But Hurricanes, are we going to the next series between these two?
Yes.
I do have the Rangers winning, but I do have the Hurricanes beating either the Penguins or the Rangers. I hate to say that, Tim. I think the Hurricanes match up very well, and just watching them play against the Bruins, who are a tough team, I do have to say the Hurricanes. I think they're going to move on. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but honestly, I'm just trying to see how I see
the
it here.
NHL mind of me says Hurricanes, but my heart says the New York Rangers.
My heart for you says Rangers, buddy, just so you know.
Hey, man, I love that you have a heart for me. But the Rangers.
I mean, but the Hurricanes are good. I mean, they're the number 1 seed, you know what I mean, in the Metropolitan Division.
And the Rangers have had some good games against them, but couldn't pull it out in the end of those games. They lost the season series to them, but they did play very well against them. So, I mean, I think it's going to be a competitive series if the Rangers win. I think if the Penguins
3-1
win,
against the Rangers, right? I think it was 3 wins to 1 win versus
Yes, but the 3 that we lost, we did play very well. There was one game when I think we lost pretty bad, but there was 2 games that were very close towards the end of the year that we lost. We actually lost a game that, if we won, would have put us in first place. And it was a very tight game. I think that the Hurricanes are better, but you know, I gotta go with the Rangers, man. I just got to.
Josh,
but I will throw this out there: if the Rangers lose this game, I do reserve the right to say the Hurricanes, because I hope that the Penguins never do anything good with their lives ever if they beat us. So, I just want that to be known. Josh, who you got in that series, bro?
I'm taking Hurricanes. I'm not going to bet against a number 1 seed, so
that's smart. And you know, I mean, you could be on your buddy's side over here, but that's okay. That's okay.
Hey, if we all choose the same thing, what's the fun in that, you know?
I mean, yeah, I'm outnumbered now, but you know, it's okay. We'll move on though. The Lightnings and Panthers. Nate, what you feeling in this? What you feeling in this series?
Honestly, I'm going to go back with my gut, and what I want, or who I want to win, is the Panthers, because they are the number 1 team in hockey. So, I mean, if you go with the number 1 seed again, Jay, it would probably be the Panthers. But I think the Lightning experience is going to beat out the Panthers because they are young, and that's what really hurt them against the Capitals. Capitals couldn't pull it off, but man, it was scary for the Panther fans. And after having a great year, so I'm going to say the Lightning. I think they're going to play hard. Vasilevsky is a whole other beast in playoffs. They've won 2 Stanley Cups in a row, and it's hard to win 3. But I'm going to say that the Lightning is going to prevail against the Panthers. And not to say the Panthers will be right back next year, because they probably will. But I have the Lightning prevailing against the Panthers next round, which will be, is that the 2 East teams, right? Be Tampa Bay and Hurricanes.
Yeah, which yeah, I think. Well, we got to get Josh. Josh, what are your predictions for that one? Who you got?
I know I said never to bet against the number 1 seed, but Nate, I'm going to agree with you with the Lightning taking this one out just for the sake of a 3-peat.
Dang it! Sir. Oh, I'm taking the Lightning too. I had that predetermined, so guess we're not going to disagree there. We're all got the Lightning taking.
I mean, they're a great team. They're a great team.
A little timeout here. The
Rangers going on the power play.
Let's go.
There's an echo in here.
The crowd goes wild. Oh. Okay, so we're going to do a prediction then. Actually, let's finish through the second round, and then we'll go through the predictions from there. In the West, the Oilers will play the winners of the Stars or Flames. I'm going to go first on this one, and I've got the Oilers. I think that if the Stars win, The Oilers aren't going to play with them like they did the Kings and let them stay in it. The Stars are not very good, in my opinion.
They're an experienced team. They've had a lot of injuries. I mean, they're a 7 seed, but they are
with
a good
what they have on the ice right now. If they beat the Oilers, I mean, you might as well just throw the whole conference out the window, man. But I got the Oilers. I got the Oilers in this one. Nate, you seem to disagree with me here.
I do. I'm going to say that the Oilers will not win. And I think that it is a 1-0 Stars lead. I think the Flames, I'm hoping that they come back because I was wanting the Flames to win. Old Matt Tkachuk, I wanted to see him do well. And I thought the Flames were going to.
On today.
Flames were going to beat the Oilers, but I'm telling you, even if the Stars win, I have the Stars beating the Oilers next round. The only downfall, like you're saying that they're bad on the ice, the only thing that people were worried about on ice was their goalie, and he's playing very well against the high-powered, fiery Flames. So I'm telling you, man, the Stars, they drew a bad batch because of their goalie. They're starting their 4th-string goalie. We talked about that when Jay was gone on Wednesday. They have their 4th-string goalie to start the season out on the ice from playoffs, but he's doing work.
He's playing well.
Who was that? Who's that? The Stars?
The Stars, yeah. They're the 7th seed, but if they would have had Ben Bishop, their number 1 guy, well, till he retired because of injuries, and then Kadubin and all these guys, if they would have had them, I don't think they would have been a 7th seed. Shoot, they might have pushed the Blues down to be a 5 seed, and they probably would have been right under the Wild. Honestly, that's my personal opinion because, I mean, the Stars are a talented team. They got young people. They have veterans out there. I mean, I know that, and it hasn't looked good. So, I mean, I agree with you, Tim. Either the Flames or the Stars, both of them, their offenses have been a little rusty at times. So, I mean, and I know the Oilers are celebrating high. They got Connor McDavid, best offensive playmaker in the game right now. But I'm saying the Oilers are going to go down. Either the Flames or Stars are going to take them down.
Josh?
After all I said, Josh, what are you thinking?
So you said you have the Flames going?
Well, the Flames and Stars are playing right now. I think the Flames will come back and win, and I have the Flames beating the Oilers. But even if the Stars win, then obviously I'll be able to change mine.
But for bracket,
right? Yeah. For bracket purposes, the Oilers are not moving on to semifinal. That's what I have. I made a case for both. I feel like the Flames and the Stars.
So would you like for the Flames and the Stars? Which one has like the more veterans on the team? Would it be the Flames?
Stars
are more veterans. The Flames probably have more star power
and young people. But I mean, Stars are not bad.
All right, I'm gonna go with the Stars over the Oilers here, just because like you said, I feel like when it comes to playoff times, having more vets and more experience on your team that really helps out a lot. And
tell that Chris Paul.
Okay, but the Suns are still extremely young.
Yeah, but all right, and then the one everybody's been waiting for: Blues and Avalanche.
Well, I'm going to be quick. I have to pick.
Let's go! Let's go, baby! We're moving on.
The Rangers win.
We're taking down the Hurricane, baby. We're taking them down. We just won an OT.
Was that Panarin? It was Panarin, wasn't it?
I didn't even see.
Wrister.
I just saw. Was it Panarin?
I'm pretty sure.
Yep. Power play goal. Artemi Panarin. Let's go.
That crowd's going nuts. You know they haven't cheered that hard because that's where the Knicks play. So them guys are going crazy.
Really, you know what? You're not gonna bother me right now, okay? You can't bother me with this right now because we just won, okay? I ain't gonna take it. I ain't gonna hear it. Tell me your Blues and Avalanche prediction, please, so that we can move on.
I had the Rangers winning this game. I'm telling you, I think the Hurricanes are going to beat them. But for Blues and Avalanche, I'm the same with you. Like I can't pick against my Blues. I have to pick the Blues. But like in my heart of hearts, the Avalanche are the second best team. They're the best team in the West, like the Panthers who are on the East. They're an extremely talented team, and they made the Predators, who were a playoff team, they were overmatched, obviously, but they just made them look awful. And Blues are still fighting a lot of injuries right now. So I am picking the Blues, but Avalanche are probably going to win. I don't know. It's going to be tough.
I'm not a huge fan when it comes to any NHL team, but if I were to be a fan, it'd be of the Blues. So I'm not going to bet against them. I feel like the way Nate's been talking about, you guys have been talking about the Avalanche throughout the podcast. I think they're probably going to win, like Nate said, but I'm not going to bet against a team that I would root for. So I'm going with the Blues.
Give me Colorado.
Yeah, it's a safe pick. I'd do it too if I was on your side.
Well, you picked the Hurricane over my Rangers, okay? I can't pick the Blues.
I know.
But I had the Avalanche too. I just think it's not really against your team. Your team is very good offensively, and your team can score in a hurry. And this is a pick I don't feel that great about, but I do think the Avalanche are very good and a very well-rounded team. And they obviously showed it in the first round, but they played a pretty bad team. So we are going to move on, though, and see, do we want to do predictions for the rest of the NHL playoffs, or do we just want to do second round?
Wait. Since we're waiting on a few teams, we can do it. Finish it off at a different time.
Perfect. Yep. So Josh and Nate have the Hurricanes. I have the Rangers. We all three have the Lightning. I have the Oilers. You both have Nate. You've got the Flames. Josh, you have the Stars.
Well, Flames are Stars. Yeah, I'm hoping Flames will come back. But yeah,
you're picking the Flames.
Yeah.
And you two have the Blues. I have the Avalanche. And then, then I want to talk about
we can finish the bracket maybe Wednesday.
Sure.
Unless you want to do it right now, and we can just pick them.
Let's wait till Wednesday.
Wait till Wednesday. Let's see what happens. Let us pray on it, sleep on it. You know what I mean? The NBA bracket, though. Nate is 4 for 4. You have predicted this pretty well. We all.
Thank you.
All right. Yep. Let him live.
And Josh, let's not forget that Josh switched his pick to the 76ers. I want to make that known.
Oh, yeah. He did do that.
I want to make that known right now.
He did do that. You are 100% right. So Josh,
I don't regret
is a big
that either.
Loser.
So Josh is 2 for 4.
Loser. He is 2 for 4. I am 3 for 4. Nate is 4 for 4. We all picked the Warriors. We all picked the Celtics. We all had picked the Heat. And then Josh let the Heat get to him and decided to pick the 76ers. Something went on in his brain. We're not really sure what happened.
Hey, listen, you guys are hating now, but if it went the other way,
I mean,
come on.
I mean,
listen.
Hey, I gotta say something when you're done, Josh.
I mean, if I was a millionaire, I mean, shoot, I wouldn't be living in Quincy, Illinois. But if this happened,
if James Harden showed up like he did, I think, and it was Game 6, 76ers are winning that game. All right. Like I said before this series even started, when Joel Embiid has all the pressure on his shoulders, like he did when Ben Simmons was still playing there, it never turns out, good for the 76ers. And I mean, point right there with this game. But I don't know. I if I was to go back, I'm still choosing the 76ers. I don't regret that pick whatsoever. So, no, it is what it is. If it was the other way around,
they were hot, and you had. I mean, I get it. I didn't agree with it, obviously, but I mean,
yeah,
I get what you're saying.
You kind of blew that pick, buddy. But we'll move on. You're 2 for 4.
I have breaking news, by the way,
yes.
Because I have a friend that's texting me, and my phone is blowing up because I have friends at the Cardinal game right now, and I will probably be the first to ever report this. But Albert Pujols just gave up a home run to the Giants, a 3-run blast, because Albert Pujols is pitching right now. In the game.
I gotta turn that on.
And he just threw a cheddar ball to Gonzalez on the San Francisco Giants. And Buddy just smacked it out of there. So it is now 15-5. And Albert Pujols is now trying to get the last out as he is pitching to, I wish it was Yadier Molina, but it is Andrew Knizner, unfortunately. But as he is lobbing a 54-mile-an-hour ball, 61 this one. Very interesting stuff. I don't think that we needed to move on from that for sure.
Did they just hit another one?
ESPN is reporting that he's throwing a slider and a curveball.
And he just gave up a second home run. Oh, man. You can't make this stuff up.
This y'all GOAT? Mine would never. Mine never give.
Not at pitching.
Oh man. Hold on. This does remind me though. Did you guys see Anthony Rendon go up to bat left-handed and hit a left-handed home run against who is it they were playing that night? There was a position player pitching. He went up there left-handed and hit a home run left-handed. Has never had an at-bat left-handed.
That guy from the guy from the Rays?
Phillips? I don't know if they were playing
him?
the Rays. I don't know if
Phillips.
Brett Phillips. He loves to pitch. The guy's a freak. But I don't know. It's pretty crazy. And one last thing I want to hit on before we're done with our discussions here for the night. We've kept you guys a little while, and we appreciate you hanging out
game.
with
us. Just got a grounder.
I mean, you got to give him the site for that, right?
Didn't mean to interrupt you, Timmy, but I thought that was very interesting. It's my phone.
I do want to get a little argument going on between you two. One thing that can always
how I was 4 for 4.
Rift.
Is that what we're talking about still? How I was 4 for 4?
4 for 4. I mean, you were 2 for 4.
NBA.
Oh! I thought you were talking about. In softball. Oh yeah, you're 4 for 4. We know you're good. But we'll see.
And who? Let's not forget NFL playoffs. Who went? I believe it was 14 for 15 in the whole NFL playoffs in picking. Now my team won, so that obviously helped. But let us not forget that
Nate. Let's predict this week 1 matchup, huh?
Okay, Rams. I got it. Rams.
Bills all day.
28-13.
He said 13. Bro, you crazy.
28. I'm telling you, I'm seeing it already.
No. I don't even have to bring up the topic I was going to bring up. Y'all are already arguing for me. Just get this content out and press send.
At least the Giants did get a primetime game, I saw. There was only one team that didn't get a primetime or draw a primetime game, NFL game, and that was the Lions.
I know. Well, you don't think the New York Giants don't deserve to be on primetime?
Is this like the only time they're not playing in Thanksgiving, I guess?
Lions? Yeah, it's like the first time in how long?
I mean, who wants to see that? I mean, come on.
I mean, I would just make sure that dinner was scheduled during the game. I mean, obviously you have to have
they usually do it at 11.
So I'm making sure that
like the 11 o'clock game.
Yeah, I'm making sure my family dinner is during the Detroit game. But
anyway, yes, baby JJ Watt.
4 for 4, and I do have the Warriors and Celtics in the World Series. I think we all did. Who had the?
You have the Warriors and Celtics and what?
And the NBA championship, NBA finals. Did I say World Series?
Mine is busted. I believe I had the Suns.
Yeah, I got Boston Warriors.
This milk's just getting to me for some reason.
Oh, you're nasty, bro.
Here we go. Now they're gonna argue even more.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with getting home after a long day, pouring yourself a nice glass of 2% milk.
Nah,
and sipping
man.
on it. Do I have any? Is there any listeners out there that can say, like, you know what? I like a nice cold glass of milk. This man drinks a glass of milk every night before I go to bed.
Does that go along with your steroid shots, or?
You know what? It probably does.
But you know
it
that
probably does.
There was this girl I knew who used to put ice in her milk and drink it like that.
I used to do that too. I used to do that too. I won't let it melt because your 2%, your 2% is going to slowly turn into 1%, and then it's going to turn into skim milk. And then I definitely am not a skim milk drinker. So, you got to drink it quick. If you're going to put ice in it, you got to make sure it's not melting. You got to drink that milk quick.
And this has been Food Network with Nate Tugal.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
But I did want you guys to argue for just a second here. Did you guys see what Steph Curry said about Dylan Brooks? Dylan Brooks apparently told Steph Curry. He told Steph Curry that he's going to still be coming, that Dylan Brooks is a dynasty.
Oh, yeah.
He told Steph Curry.
He said that the Grizzlies were a dynasty.
Doing what?
No, he said we're a dynasty, and then he called himself a dynasty.
He's a young player. He wants to let the world know that they're a good team and that he's a good player.
Keep pulling it out of your rear end, Nate.
I'm not pulling anything out of no rear end because the Grizzlies are a good team. They are professional reporters out there.
So they're dynasty. So you're going to say they're a dynasty then?
There was many people that picked Grizzlies and Suns or not Grizzlies and Suns,
but
Grizzlies and Nets for like the NBA championship. Obviously, it didn't work out that way.
That's not what we're talking about. Like, do you agree with the guy saying that they're a dynasty and he's a dynasty, whatever he said?
I think they're an upcoming dynasty. Yeah, I think they got a lot of young pieces. They're
a
great
Warriors
team.
dynasty.
I think they can be. Yes,
you're on correct. No.
What makes a dynasty? Probably a good three years in the finals, or even though LeBron, I think that was a dynasty, even though he lost a few.
I mean, okay, for simplicity's sake, let's just say a dynasty is you have to win back-to-back championships. Is this a team that is this a team you see winning back-to-back championships?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
All right.
With the way the Mavs are playing right now. With the way the Warriors are still playing.
I mean, it can change.
The Suns are playing.
I think it is. I think the Grizzlies are an upcoming dynasty.
No way.
I mean, where's this hate for the Grizz, man? Like, I don't. Do I need to report you to,
Well, they did eliminate his boy Patrick Bev. So you have to know.
No, it's not even that. It's they had a good year, but they
had a great year.
Listen, I say this about literally everything. I don't like, building people up to where, oh, they're good, blah, 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 when they only play good for 1 year. Come on. Like, let me see it. Let me see it for multiple years.
This series was so close. And we'll see. But let me tell you this, man. The Grizzlies should be in the finals this year, like low key, because I think the Grizzlies would have beat the Mavs. Like, I'm looking at Charles Barkley's face. He's like wondering, how in the world did the Mavs just beat the Suns? Exactly. But people would have said the same thing with the Grizzlies. Ja Morant with that spinning left-hand layup would have won them game 1. The Grizzlies were in game 3, even though they lost and they were down 2-1. They battled back. And if Ja Morant didn't get injured, the Grizzlies would have won the series.
No. So you're saying the Grizzlies are better than the Denver Nuggets when fully healthy also?
Denver Nuggets, where'd those guys come from? Denver Nuggets.
I'm talking about when it comes to dynasty. Yeah, when they're healthy. You're telling me that
the West is very
better than the Nuggets, and that there's no way, Nate.
Oh yeah, Grizzlies are way better than the Nuggets.
Go ahead and sit this off.
Stop it.
We got to end this.
Stop it. The Grizzlies would have, if Ja Morant wouldn't have got hurt, the Grizzlies would be in the championship this year, battling against the Celtics for an NBA title. Ja Morant, I'm telling you, and they probably would be back there next year.
That's one thing I will agree with you with. If they were going to make it to a championship, this was their year. But they didn't do it, so I just don't see it happening.
But injuries. Who's the healthiest? Who's the healthiest out of every team in the playoffs right now? Who's the healthiest team right now? Is the Warriors healthy at the right time? Unfortunately, the Grizzlies are not.
I mean, you can say that same thing about the Denver Nuggets. That's my point.
I don't know what you're talking about. The Denver
better
Nuggets.
than the Denver Nuggets, and the Denver Nuggets aren't even healthy. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. is better than the whole Memphis Grizzlies roster. He's not even one of the best players on the Denver Nuggets.
I don't know about that.
Josh, back up. You think he's better than Ja Morant?
Just because this guy,
I'll say he's the second best player.
Because Michael Porter comes to Quincy every now and then. We apparently are just, jumping on this guy's train. But I'm telling you, Michael Porter, he might turn into a Kristaps Porzingis type player. Like, we don't know. Or he might turn into I don't know, man. Like, this guy can't even stay healthy. Dude has back problems.
I'm saying fully healthy, though. Like, if it was,
might be looking at another Greg Oden.
It was this year. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
I don't. All I'm saying though is you can say that and say it had to be this year that they this was their chance, just like the Lakers winning the 2020. Everything just kind of fell into place. I don't believe that. I thought they're a great team, but I don't
think it's the Grizzlies only.
But I don't think it was the Grizzlies' luck that got them where they are right now. I say it's their talent and a team of where they are, and if they would have been fully healthy.
And you're saying they're better than the Clippers? It's just the West is so deep, bro. There's no way. The Memphis Grizzlies are missing multiple
bad milk or something.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
All right. Well, I let you guys talk for long enough. I'm going to get my 2 cents in, then we're going to end it, okay? The Grizzlies are a very good team. Is this the only year they're going to be this good? Probably not. But for them to be a dynasty, the way they are currently constructed, I think is blasphemy. I think that they need to change it up, maybe get another player who Jaren Jackson's probably good enough to be a 3. I don't know that he's good enough to be a 2 to Ja Morant.
No.
So he either needs to elevate his game or they need to get somebody better. Ja Morant can be a 1, can take over a game, can take over a series. We have seen that. But as currently constructed, I don't see them being a dynasty. Dillon Brooks is a nice piece, but he is not the piece. So that for that guy to be saying that is just, whatever. But, it's always weird guys
Probably
talking
taken way out of context.
But and probably in the heat of the game too. But it is what it is. The Grizzlies, for them to be a dynasty, they've got to make some changes, but they are headed in the right direction. I will say that. But we have held these guys for long enough.
They'll be in the play-in next year.
A long time, and we could argue all night. I know you guys could, and we usually do. But I'm gonna save you guys all from this from these boys here, and we're gonna say peace out. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being on stream with us. Go Yankees. Go Rangers. Go Blues, go Cardinals, whoever you like. But as
Padres,
whoever your favorite team is, just know that my favorite team is better than yours. Peace out, guys. Let's all have a good night.